Hello friends, this is Hasiba. Welcome to today's session on DumpTruck problem. In the last session, we have discussed about how we can do the second type of event scheduling algorithm problem, that is called as checkout line simulation. Right? So in that problem, we saw that we can find three cumulative statistics, that is the average response time, right? The mean proportion of the customers who have spent 5 or more minutes in the system, and also the number of departures. Right? So in today's session, and we saw a little bit insight about what is a dump truck problem, right? So in today's session, we'll be seeing about the dump truck problem. So let us directly move on to the problem. The problem statement will be like this. 6 dump trucks are used to haul coal from the entrance of a small mine to the railroad, right? So this dump truck problem is for 6 trucks only. Each truck is loaded by one of the two loaders, right? There will be two loaders which are basically used to load the coal. After loading, the truck immediately moves to the scale to be weighed as soon as possible, right? So both the loaders and the scale have FCFSQ, that is FIFO Q, right? So the travel time from the loader to the scale is negligible. After being weighed, the truck begins a travel time during which the truck unloads and returns back to the loader queue. So the purpose of simulation is to estimate the loader and scale utilization, right? So in order to find the utilization of the loader and the weigh scale, we are doing this particular problem, right? So they will give you the distribution of the loading time, weighing time, and the travel time are given below. So loading time will be given, weigh time will be given, and travel time will be given. So the end of simulation, they will specify it is the completion of 4 weighs from the scale. That means till 4 people finish their weighing from the scale, we have to complete the we have to stop the simulation. Calculate the busy time of the loader and the scale. Find the average loader and scale utilization. In the last session, I had told you about the problem, about the formulas of loader and scale utilization, right? So assume that 4 trucks are at the loader and 2 at the scale, right? They have told that there are 4 trucks at the loader and 2 at the scale. So 2 at the scale in the means that one truck can be on the scale and one should be in the weigh queue, right? So one should be on the weigh queue, and the remaining 4 trucks, right? So 2 trucks will be at the loader and 2 will be in the loader queue. The stopping of simulation is after 10 iterations, right? There are 2 stopping conditions here, right? So one is 10 iterations, the other is 4 way from the scale, right? So when I have 2 stopping conditions, whichever comes first till there, we have to solve the problem, right? So the formulas we know: busy time of the loader, BL stands for busy time of both the loaders, BS stands for busy time of the scale. Busy time of each loader I can calculate by using the formula BL by 2. Busy time of both the loaders is given by BL. Busy time of the scale is BS, right? So average loader utilization is given by BL by 2 whole divided by TE. This is average loader utilization. Since it is loader, that is why I will take it as BL by 2 divided by TE. TE stands for end of the simulation. That is the clock time when you will be stopping the simulation. Average scale utilization, the formula is BS divided by TE, right? So the initial condition, if at all the initial condition is not given, right? So then what we assume is, always we assume that there is only 1 truck on the scale and remaining 5 trucks are at the loader. If at all initial condition is not given, if it is not given, then always by default, the dump truck problem states that 1 truck will be on the weigh scale and the remaining 5 trucks will be at the loader end, right? So DT1, I have kept it on the weigh scale and the remaining 5 trucks, right? So to have those 5 trucks, we have 2 loaders also. So I will put 1 truck, 2 trucks on 2 loaders, right? So DT2, DT3, I will put it on the loader. I have DT4, DT5, DT6 in the loader queue. This is the scenario of the dump truck problem by default, right? So if at all they give any other stopping, any other initial conditions, then we have to follow that particular initial condition, right? So in this problem, they have given the initial condition as there are 2 trucks at the scale and 4 at the loader. That is the initial condition, right? So since they have told that there are 2 trucks at the scale, so 2 trucks at the scale means one will be on the scale and the other will be on the weigh queue, right? So other will be on the queue, and remaining 4 trucks are at the loader means 2 trucks I'll put it on the loader, right? And 2 trucks I'll put it on the loader queue, right? So remember, this particular box is for telling that the truck is on the scale, right? So whatever I write on this particular line is nothing but it is in the weigh queue, right? So whatever I write here is nothing but on the loader, right? So whatever I write here on the left hand side, it is nothing but the loader queue, right? So and this is for the travel time. right? So let us solve the problem. So this particular problem will have these column values for the simulation table, right? So we'll have the clock, right? So I have LQ of T. LQ of T stands for loader Q of T, right? So L of T means L of T is the for the loader, right? So how many trucks are at the loader? WQ of T means VQ of T, right? W of T means it is on the how many people are there on the scale, right? So then I have loader Q, I'll have VQ, future event list, right? So future event list is my FEL, and it should be written only for those values which are in these square boxes, right? And also for the arrival at loader Q, right? So because FEL is written for end load, end way, and ALQ, right? So those are the three event notices what we have in our dump truck problem, right? So whatever I write inside the box for this, I will be scheduling end way, and for whatever I write in these boxes for these, I will be scheduling the end load, and I have the arrival at loader Q, right? So BS is there. So BL stands for busy time of the loader and busy time of the scale. So BL means loaders, right? So for both the loaders, we are calculating the BL, and finally we will divide it by 2 so that I will get the busy time of each loader, right? So let us start the problem. So initially always write the clock first. Clock is at 0, right? And what is the initial condition you have to write, right? So they have told that initial condition 2 trucks at the scale. So DT1 is on the scale, DT2 is on the VQ, 4 at the loader. So DT3, DT4 on the loader, and DT5, DT6 at the loader Q. Right, so now come back, write these values. LQ of T means loader Q. How many trucks are there at the loader Q? 2 are there. DT5 and DT6 I will write here. L of T, how many people are there on the loader? 2 trucks are there, so 2. WQ of T, right? How many trucks are at the VQ? 1 truck is there, so 1. W of T, that means how many are there on the scale? 1 is there, so 1. Right, so at the loader Q, who is there at the loader Q? Dump truck 5, dump truck 6. So DT5, DT6. Who is there at the VQ? Dump truck 2 is there, right? So dump truck 2. Now I have to write the future event list. Future event list, you have to write it for those trucks which you have written inside, right? So the dump truck 1 is on the way scale, right? So for this, I have to schedule the end way. Dump truck 3 and dump truck 4 is on the loader. For these two, I have to schedule end load, right? So if at all I had any truck on the above, for them, I will be scheduling the arrival at loader Q, right? So I have end way, end load twice, right? So coming to the dump truck 1 end way, right? So what we have to go for weighing time and loading time. So what I will do, take a pencil, right? So for the first truck, you will be scheduling the weigh time, right? So strike out for this is for dump truck 1, write the heading as dump truck 1, DT1, right? So next for the other 2 trucks which are dump truck 3 and dump truck 4, you have to schedule the loading time, right? So it is in the first come first serve basis. Dump truck 3 comes first, so strike out this and write it as dump truck 3, right? And then strike out this and write it as a dump truck 4, right? So dump truck 3, dump truck 4. What is the initial loading time, right? So loading time what we have here is 10 and 5, right? And weighing time I have it as 8, right? So I have to write it in ascending order. So I will write it as 10, 5, 8 are the 3 values what I got, 3 types of times what I got. So I will write it in ascending order. I will get 5, 8 and 10, right? So what I will do, end load EL, 5, DT4, right? So end load 5, DT4 will be first, end way 8, dump truck 1 will be second, end L and EL, 10, DT3, right? So like this we have to write the future event list, right? So first I will be writing what type of event notice I'm doing, then what is the time and what is the truck, right? So EL, T, DTI, right? So this is the general syntax of writing the event notices, right? So initially I will take the loader, loader utilization also as 0 and scale is also at 0. So initially all the values will be 0, 0. Right. So now we have to follow the event scheduling algorithm. Event scheduling algorithm says remove the imminent event from the list and advance the clock from T to T1. Right. So what is the clock? Clock is 0. So 0 to 5 I will advance. Right. So 0 to 5 have removed the event. Now I have to execute this event. What is this event? End load. End load means dump truck 4 has finished loading. Right. So if it has finished loading, where it has to go? It has to go and join the VQ, right? So dump truck 4 will move from here to here. So I will get DT2 is already there. So it will go from here to here. So DT2, DT4 will happen. So this place is empty now. Who will come and sit? Dump truck 5 will come and sit, right? So as soon as you write this time, always remember first come and write the illustration, right? So in the illustration we have dump truck 1 will be same as it is. DT2 was there. DT4 finished loading. So it came and joined the VQ. DT3 I have. DT5 then DT6. DT5 which was in the loader queue will come and occupy one of the loader. Right now, how many people are there in the loader queue? One person is there. How many people are there in the way queue? Two trucks are there. Right? How many are there at the loader? Two are there at the loader. How many are there on the scale? One is there on the scale. Who is there on the loader queue? This is for loader queue, which is dump truck 6. Who is there on the way queue? Two people are there, which is dump truck 2 and dump truck 1 and dump truck 4. Right? Next we have to check DT3, DT5, DT1. Right? So if you see the previous future event list, we have already written for DT1 and DT3. So I have to write for DT5. What type of time you will schedule for DT5? You have to schedule the loading time because it is at the loader, right? So I'll go back now, take a pencil and strike out the next value for DT5. What is it? It is 5, right? So 5 minutes it needs for loading time, right? So when I say 5 minutes, that means I have to see the current clock time. That means from the current clock time 5, it needs 5 more minutes for loading, right? So that is why I will write it as 5 plus 5. Always you have to show this separation, right? So otherwise marks will be reduced, right? So now I will get 8 and 10 are already there. One more 10 is added. So write it in ascending order always. So I will write this first. So EW, 8, DT1, EL, 10, DT3, then EL, 5 plus 5. What is this 5? This 5 is the current clock time, right? One more 5 is the loading time, right? So for which truck? It is dump truck 5, right? So done. Now we have to calculate the busy time of the loader, right? So busy time of the loaders will be, right? So you have to see the diagram. Here you can see both are there. Here you can see both are there. That means from 0 to 5, both the loaders were busy, right? So what you have to do is current clock time minus the previous clock time. So 5 minus 0. 5 minus 0, you will get it as 5, right? So now you have to multiply this 5 by 2. Why you have to multiply by 2? Because both the loaders were busy. So 5 into 2, you will get it as 10, right? So this 10, so 5 into 2 is 10. So now busy time of the loaders is for 10 minutes. Both were busy because the one loader was busy for 5 minutes, one more loader was busy for 5 minutes. That means totally both the loaders were busy for 10 minutes. So 10. What about the scale, right? So look at the diagram. Here also DT1, here also DT1. But that means that the scale is occupied from 0 to 5 minutes, right? So current clock time is 5, previous clock time is 0. So 5 minus 0, I will get it as 5. Now continue the procedure. Remove the imminent event from the list. Advance the clock from T to T1, right? So I will remove the imminent event. It is 8. So what is this? This is end way. End way means the dump truck 1 has finished the weighing. So where it will go now? It will go to the traveling time. So traveling time begins for dump truck 1. So I will take dump truck 1 and I will write it on the top because traveling time starts. So if this moves out, who will go and sit inside? DT2 will go and sit inside. DT4 is there in the queue. DT3, DT5, DT6, right? So you have to write the illustration and come back and update the values here. Loader queue 1, at the loader 2 people are there. At the weigh queue 1 is there. At the weigh scale 1 is there. Who is there at the loader queue? DT6. Who is there at the weigh queue? DT4, right? So now I have to write the future event list. Future event list is always written for those trucks which are inside the box plus the one which is for which travel time has started, right? So DT3, DT5 is already there as you can see, right? So DT2, it went on the scale, right? So for this and this we have to write. So since it is on the scale, I have to schedule the weigh time, right? So I'll go back to weighing time, right? So for the next weighing time, which is a 12, I will strike out and write it as a DT2, and travel time I have to give it for dump truck 1. So travel time 30 is given to dump truck 1, right? So we got 30 and 12 as our new timings, right? So 30 and 12 from which clock time? From 8, right? So from 8th minute, 12 more minutes it needs for weighing, right? So from 8th minute, 30 more minutes it needs for traveling. That is what it means, right? So again, FEL I have to write it in ascending order. Already I have 10, 10, right? So first I will write EL, 10, DT3, EL, 10, DT5. Then I will check my end way, right? So end way is 20 I will get. So what is the weighing time? Weighing time is 12, current clock time is 8. So 12 plus 8 dump truck 2. For the dump truck 2 I am scheduling the end way. For dump truck 1 it is travel time, right? So for travel time the event notice is ALQ. ALQ, arrival at loader queue, what is the travel time? Travel time we got it as 30 plus what is the current clock time? 8. So 30 plus 8 dump truck 1, right? So like this we have to write the FEL, right? So once you write the FEL, now you have to check the BL, right? So see the previous diagram and this diagram, right? Here also both the loaders are used. Here also both the loaders are used. That means from 5 to 8. 5 to 8, how many minutes? 3 minutes. Both the loaders were used. So multiply it by 2. 3 into 6 is 6, right? So add this value to this, right? So because the total value what we get is the sum summation value, right? So that is why every time we have to add in each and every step. So I will add this value, I will get it as 10 plus 6, which is 16, right? So again, 8 minus 5 is 3. So add this 3 to the previous value. So 3 plus 5 is 8, right? So again, let's continue. I will remove the imminent event from the list, advance the clock from T to T1. So I will remove. So what happened? End load. End load means dump truck 3 has finished loading, right? So in the meantime, you should keep track of the 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 stopping event of the simulation. Stopping event, they have told that 4 people finishing way from the scale are 10 iterations, right? So how many iterations over? 1, 2, 3, fourth iteration. We are in fourth iteration, and how many weighing over? Only one person has finished weighing, right? So when 4 people finished weighing, we have to stop, or when it is 10 iterations, we have to stop, right? So you should keep in mind about the stopping condition, and then you have to solve the problem, right? So now remove the imminent event from the list, advance the clock from T to T1, so 8 to 10. So 10 means what? Dump truck 3 has finished loading, right? So what happened? Now dump truck 3 finishes and it goes to the way queue. Who will come and sit here? DT6 will come and sit here, right? So one more 2 events are occurring here. One is dump truck 5 has also finished loading, and dump truck 3 also has finished loading, right? So both of them will move to the way queue, right? So now both the loaders are empty. DT6, where it will go and sit? It will always go and sit to the DT3, because this event occurs first, right? You should not write here DT6, you should not write here, because DT3 happens first, then happens DT5, right? So DT3 moves out immediately, DT6 comes and sits here, then DT5 will go out, fine, right? So now what we have to do? We have to schedule the FEL, right? So once you write the diagram, you see here loader queue is 0, right? At the loader, 1 person. At the way queue, 3 people. At the way scale, 1 person. Who is there at the loader queue? Nobody is there. Who is there at the way queue? Dump truck 4, dump truck 3, dump truck 5. DT4, DT3, DT5. Now you have to schedule the time, right? So for this, you have to schedule end load. For this, it is end way and ALQ, right? So for this and this, dump truck 2 and dump truck 1, it is already there. I have to schedule end load for dump truck 6, right? So I will go back to my loading time. The next loading time, I will strike it out. I will get it as dump truck 6, 10, right? So 10 on the current clock time. So 10 plus 10, it will be 20, right? So I will write in ascending order EW 20 comma DT2, which was already there. The new one I got, which is EL end load 10 plus 10 comma dump truck 6, ALQ 38 comma dump truck 1, right? So now in order to write the busy time of the loaders, right? So we can see here at the 10th minute, one loader became free at the 10th minute, right? But from 8 to 10, both the loaders were busy. From 8 to 10, both the loaders were busy, right? So 10 minus 8 is how much? It is 2. So 2 into 2 is equal to 4, right? Because at 10, at the clock time 10, one of the loader is free. When the next time when we calculate, that time we should take only for one of the loader, right? So at 10, one loader became free, but till 10, that is between 8 to 10, both the loaders were busy, right? So that is why we will multiply it by 2. So 2 2 is 4, 4 plus 16, I will get it as 20. What about the scales? The scale is busy from 8 to 10, 2 minutes, right? So add that to 2 minutes to the previous value, I will get it as 10, right? So now remove the imminent event from the list, advance the clock from T to T1. Here also once again, 2 events are happening. Dump truck 2 is also finishing and dump truck 6 is also finishing, right? So dump truck 2 is finishing the way, I will put it on the travel time. Dump truck 6 has finished loading, so I will put it on the way queue, right? So this will be your diagram. Now come and see here, loader queue 0, loader 0, way queue 3, way scale 1. Who is there at the loader queue? Nobody is there. Who is there at the way queue? Dump truck 3, dump truck 5, dump truck 6, right? So you will write all these values. Now I have to write the FEL, right? So to write the FEL, you have to write it only for DT4, DT2, right? So and DT1. DT1 is already there, right? So these two went out. So I will write it for DT4 and DT2. For DT2, what you will schedule? You have to schedule the arrival at loader queue. That means a travel time, right? So I will strike out this. I will write DT2. So 60 minutes from the current time. So 60 plus 20 means 80. Right, so for dump truck 4, what you will schedule? You have to schedule the end way. So end way, you will strike it out, right? So the next is 8. So 8 for at 20. So 20 plus 8, right? So you have to write it in ascending order. So I will write end way 8 plus 20, dump truck 4, ALQ 38 comma dump truck 1, which is already there, right? So copy it as it is. The previous FEL you have to retain, right? So ALQ 60 plus 20 comma dump truck 2, right? So now we'll see here from 10 to 20, right? So only one truck was used, one loader was used, which was loading dump truck 6, right? So that is why what we do is 20 minus 10 is how much? It is a 10, right? And since only one loader was used, I will multiply by 1. So 10 into 1 is equal to 10. This down loader was free only, right? So only the above loader was used to load dump truck 6, dump truck 6, right? So that is why I will multiply it by 1, right? So 1 is a 10, so add 20 plus 10, I will get it as 30. What about the scale? The scale is busy from 10 to 20, right? So it is 20. Again, remove the imminent event from the list, advance the clock from T to T1. So I will get 28, right? So 28, I will get 8 plus 20, which is 28, right? So what happens? Dump truck 4 also has finished weighing, right? So if it moves out, who will go and sit in the weigh scale? Dump truck 3 will go and sit. So I will get a scenario like this: dump truck 3 on the scale, dump truck 5, dump truck 6 on the weigh queue, right? And here I have DT1, DT2, and DT4, right? So who is there on the loader queue? Nobody is there, so 0. Who is there at the loader? Nobody is there, so 0. Who is there on the weigh queue? 2 people are there, so 2. Who is there on the weigh scale? 1 person is there, so 1. Right? So loader queue empty, weigh queue DT5, DT6, right? So now what has happened? Third person has finished weighing, right? One more person means we have to stop, right? Third person has finished weighing, right? So for this DT4, I have to write ALQ, and for DT3, I have to schedule end weigh, right? So I will go back, I will check the timing of the end weigh. So end weigh time, I will get it as 16 for dump truck 3, right? And for this ALQ, that is travel time I got it as 40, right? So travel time from the current clock time only you have to write. Again, write this FTL in ascending order. Same procedure, write it in ascending order, right? So now we'll see that here from 20 to 28, right? Both the loaders are free, right? Since both the loaders are free, we have to retain the value as it is, right? The previous value, whatever is there, we have to write it as it is, because not even a single loader was used, right? So now once again, remove the imminent event from the list, advance the clock from T to T1. I'll get 38. So 38, what has happened? Arrival at loader queue. Dump truck 1 has come, right? So dump truck 1 has come, right? At 38, it has come, right? So dump truck 1, I will write it here. So remaining is as it is. So for this, again, I have to schedule the loading time, right? So loading time is 15 from the current clock time, which is 32. Rewrite it in ascending order. You will get it as 16 plus 28, which is 44 will go first. Then you have 15 is the loading time at the current clock time. So 15 plus 38, dump truck 1, right? So then you have 68 dump truck 4 and 80 dump truck 2, right? So now you can see here at 28 both the loaders are free, right? At 38 one truck has come, but from 28 to 38 both the loaders were free, yes, right? So that is why we should not touch this busy time of the loader. We have to keep it as it is, because the loaders were free, right? So from 38, next time when I do, I have to calculate the busy time of the loader for one loader, because only one loader is occupied at 38, right? So but 28 to 38 nobody were working, right? They both were free. At 38 dump truck 1 came, right? So that is why I will retain the previous value as it is. Scale was busy, so scale will be updated accordingly, right? So again, remove the imminent event from the list, advance the clock from T to T1, right? So now you can remove this. So 44, what is happening, right? So end weigh of dump truck 3, right? So that means fourth truck has finished weighing, right? So DT1 had finished, DT2, DT4, DT3, right? So this is the last step of simulation. You have to execute this and then you have to stop, right? So I will execute this event. So if this moves out, what will happen? DT5 will go inside, DT6 is here, right? So based on that, update the status. Loader queue, nobody is there. At the loader, one person is there. At the weigh queue, one person is there. On the scale, one person is there. Dump truck 3 has gone. For this dump truck 3, I have to schedule the ALQ and write my FEL, right? So for the current clock time. So now you can see here, dump truck 1 was being loaded by one of the loader from 38 to 44. So 44 minus 38 is how much? It is 6. So 6 into 1 I will multiply, because only one loader was used. 6 into 1 is 6. Right? So 30 plus 6 is, I will get it as 36, right? What about the scale? Scale was busy, right? So 4 people have finished weighing, right? So, and I will count the number of steps: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? So at 8th step only, I have got all the 4 people have finished weighing, right? So there were 2 stopping conditions, 4 people finishing weighing or 10 iterations, right? So since the first any one of the condition, whichever reaches first, you have to stop there, right? So since at 8th step only we have reached the first stopping condition, we will stop here. right? So what we will do, we will write it as the first stopping condition, which is 4-way from the scale is achieved, right? So what is our runtime of simulation? Our total runtime where the simulation ends is 44 minutes, right? So whatever BL I get, this is busy time of both the loaders 36. What is busy time of the scale? It is 44. And what is the end of simulation? It is 44. Right, so busy time of each loader is BL by 2, so 36 by 2, that is 18 minutes. Busy time of the scale is 44 minutes because we have only one scale. Average loader utilization will be BL by 2 divided by TE, that is 18 by 44 into 100, which is nothing but I will get 41%, right? So what about average scale utilization? So average scale utilization will be equal to BS divided by TE, right? So 44 divided by 44, that means 100%, right? So as we can see here, our scale was utilized completely. Nowhere it was free, right? But the loader was free, but the scale was completely utilized for all the 8 iterations, right? So that is why 44 by 44, we get scale utilization as 100% and loader utilization as the formula says BL by 2 divided by T, average loader utilization. If they ask a loader's utilization, you have to write it as BL by TE, which is nothing but 36 divided by 44, right? So this is your dump truck problem. Hope you have understood the dump truck problem, right? So solve it as I have told, one by one step, solve it along with my video session, right? So you'll be able to understand. If at all you have any problem, right? So you can call me back. Thank you.